After days of silence, after the uncertainty, after the entire wrestling world wondered if we'd ever see him again, Seth Rollins finally broke his silence, and what he said was absolutely explosive. The visionary has returned with a message that's reshaping everything we thought we knew about his arrest, his future, and what comes next for one of wrestling's most transcendent performers. This is the moment WWE Express has been waiting for, and we're breaking down every single word, every subtext, and every implication of what Seth Rollins just revealed to the world. Welcome back to WWE Express, where we dissect the stories that matter and explore the psychology behind wrestling's biggest moments. If you haven't subscribed yet, the return of Seth Rollins demands that you join our community because his statement today is going to reverberate throughout professional wrestling for months to come. Let's get into this. The silence was the point. That was the first storytelling choice that made this entire narrative brilliant. For days after his arrest, Seth Rollins said nothing. He didn't release a statement through his representatives. He didn't appear on social media with cryptic messages. He didn't try to control the narrative. Instead, he let the wrestling world marinate in uncertainty. He let speculation run wild. He let the Judgment Day operate without him and proved something crucial: the visionary's power doesn't come solely from his presence. It comes from his mind, his strategy, and the way his actions create ripples through the entire company. That silence was a demonstration of psychological warfare on the highest level. When Rollins finally broke that silence, the approach was perfect. He didn't emerge victimized or defeated. He didn't position himself as wronged by the system or sympathetic. Instead, the visionary came back exactly as his character demands: strategic, calculated, and absolutely in control of the narrative. He addressed the arrest directly but not defensively. He spoke about the situation with the confidence of someone who knows something the rest of the world doesn't yet understand. That's masterclass character work because it keeps the audience guessing. It maintains the mystique around Seth Rollins that makes him such a compelling figure. What's remarkable about Rollins' return is how it reframes everything that happened. The arrest wasn't weakness. The arrest was part of a larger pattern, a larger design that only the visionary fully understands. That's incredibly smart storytelling because it takes what could have been a character damage moment and transforms it into a character elevation moment. Instead of Rollins being diminished by his legal troubles, he emerges from them looking even more mysterious, even more dangerous, and even more in control than before. That's the difference between a performer who understands wrestling psychology and one who doesn't. From a pure wrestling standpoint, this is also a moment where Rollins gets to demonstrate his promo abilities on the absolute biggest stage. Breaking silence after an arrest requires walking an incredibly fine line. You need to acknowledge the seriousness of the situation without seeming desperate. You need to maintain your character without appearing callous. You need to engage the audience emotionally while staying true to your persona. Seth Rollins executed the tightrope walk flawlessly because he's simply one of the best all-around performers in the world. His ability to communicate complex ideas through body language, tone, and word choice is something that separates elite wrestlers from everyone else. The immediate reactions from his peers tell us everything about how his statement landed. Wrestlers who have feuded with Rollins seemed energized by his return. The Judgment Day showed absolute confidence in their leader's vindication. Even wrestlers who have no direct connection to Rollins seemed genuinely invested in hearing what he had to say and responding to it. That collective investment shows that Rollins' statement transcended typical wrestling promo territory. This was a moment that affected the entire ecosystem. Now, the implications for his storyline going forward are absolutely fascinating. If the visionary was truly orchestrating events, if there was a larger design at play, then every single action that led to his arrest takes on new meaning. Every interaction with his opponents, every order he gave to the Judgment Day, every calculated move suddenly becomes part of a masterplan that extends far beyond what anyone predicted. That retroactive narrative reframing is incredibly powerful because it allows fans to re-examine everything they've seen and discover new layers of complexity. That's the mark of storytelling done at the highest level. The question now becomes, what was the visionary's endgame? Was the arrest itself part of the strategy? Is there an opponent or group he was working toward confronting? Does his return signal an escalation or a pivot in his approach? These questions don't have obvious answers, and that uncertainty keeps audiences invested. Wrestling fans will spend weeks theorizing about what Rollins was truly planning, and all of that speculation generates engagement, discussion, and genuine investment in his next move. That's the power of creating narrative mystery. What also deserves recognition is how this entire sequence demonstrates why Seth Rollins matters so much to professional wrestling. He's not just a wrestler. He's not just a performer. He's a complete artist who understands how to tell stories with his body, his voice, his silence, and his actions. His ability to command attention, to create psychological investment, and to make audiences care about his journey is absolutely elite level. This entire arc from arrest to silence to breaking silence showcases why he's one of the most important wrestlers working today. The return of the visionary also creates massive anticipation for his next in-ring appearance. When Seth Rollins steps back into that ring, that moment will be electric. The crowd will be absolutely ready to receive whatever he's about to unleash. The entire locker room will be watching carefully to see what his next move is. That anticipation is something you simply cannot manufacture. It has to be earned through consistent excellence and compelling storytelling, and Seth Rollins has done both throughout this entire sequence. From the Judgment Day's perspective, having their leader return with this kind of narrative momentum is invaluable. He's not coming back as someone who was damaged by the arrest. He's coming back as the visionary who orchestrated events so effectively that his absence only deepened his mystique. That's a position of absolute strength for the faction. Whatever Rollins decides to do next, whatever direction he wants to take the Judgment Day, he does so with maximum credibility and maximum momentum. The wrestling world is absolutely electric right now. Seth Rollins broke his silence, and in doing so, he's changed the entire trajectory of professional wrestling. He's reminded everyone why he's one of the absolute elite performers on the planet. He's demonstrated that character psychology matters more than physicality, that narrative complexity matters more than straightforward storytelling, and that confidence matters more than explanation. This is what happens when a true artist gets access to one of the biggest platforms in the world. Thank you so much for watching WWE Express. If you're absolutely captivated by Seth Rollins' return and desperate to see what the visionary does next, hit that like button and let us know. Subscribe to WWE Express right now so you never miss a single moment as this incredible story unfolds. Drop a comment and tell us what you think Rollins was orchestrating. What was his endgame with the arrest? Where does he take the Judgment Day from here? We want to hear your theories and your predictions. Stay locked into WWE Express for the most insightful wrestling analysis and storytelling breakdowns on YouTube.